Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here again to sift through some fascinating sources and pull out the insights that really resonate.
Absolutely. Ready to jump in.
Great. So today, we're embarking on a journey, really, into something quite profound, I think. It's this, counterintuitive power of humility, and maybe even radical generosity.
Mm-hmm. And how they connect us to something bigger.
Exactly, like an extraordinary, almost cosmic perspective. We've got a good mix of sources for this deep dive. Some ancient wisdom from Sirach.
A really practical, but also deeply spiritual book.
Yeah, and then some powerful Psalms and, of course, key New Testament teachings. Yeah. We're looking at Luke's gospel parables there, and also the letter to the Hebrews.
Which gives us that really expansive, contrasting vision, Old Covenant versus New.
Right. So our mission, if you like, is to journey through these together and uncover what they're really saying about humility, how it plays out in our interactions.
And what the perhaps surprising payoff might be from, a divine viewpoint.
Okay, let's unpack this. This power of humility first. It's often misunderstood, isn't it?
Definitely. Often seen as weakness when these texts frame it very differently.
They really do. Sirach, for instance, is strikingly clear. It says, "My child, conduct your affairs with humility, and you will be loved more than a giver of gifts."
That's quite a statement, more than gifts. It suggests humility fosters a deeper kind of connection.
It does, like being valued for who you are, not just what you give. And then it gets even more intriguing, this paradox.
Ah, yes. Humble yourself the more, the greater you are.
And you will find favor with God. It's not about, putting yourself down constantly.
No, it seems more like a strategic self-awareness, understanding your actual place, maybe. Sirach also warns against overreach, right?
Exactly. Don't reach for what's too grand or try things beyond your strength. It's about knowing your limits, too.
And what really stands out there, I think, is that humility isn't just personal conduct. It's a posture towards God, towards your community.
A posture. I like that.
Yeah. And if we zoom out, it's clearly not weakness. It's presented as strength. Knowing your place allows for real connection, for growth.
And for finding that favor the text talks about, especially divine favor.
Precisely. It makes you receptive to it.
Okay, so that idea of finding favor, it leads us quite neatly into Luke's gospel, doesn't it? That dinner scene.
Ah, the Pharisees' dinner, yes. Jesus is watching everyone.
He is, just observing how they're all choosing the places of honor at the table. We've all seen that, right? The subtle jostling for status.
Or not so subtle sometimes. It's a very human moment he picks up on.
Totally. And then he tells this parable. It feels so relevant. He talks about the embarrassment if you take a high place and someone more important arrives.
And the host asks you to move down. Awkward.
Very. But then the alternative, take the lowest place. So when the host comes, he says, "Friend, move up higher."
And then you gain a scheme in front of everyone.
Yeah.
So is this just like good social strategy, savvy dinner party advice?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? How deep does this go? Is he just teaching etiquette or challenging our whole value system?
I think it has to be deeper. It forces us to ask, how do we even define value? Worldly honor can vanish, lead to shame even.
Right. But this divine favor, this exaltation Jesus talks about, that's presented as lasting.
So who's the ultimate judge of honor? Jesus's punchline, as you called it earlier, is pretty clear.
It really is. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but the one who humbles himself will be exalted.
It just flips the script, doesn't it? Completely turns the world's usual way of operating on its head. True worth found in the unexpected place.
And we see this theme pop up elsewhere, too.
Yeah.
It's not isolated. Matthew has Jesus saying,
"Take my yoke upon you.
And learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart." It's an invitation to actually be like him.
And Psalm 149 reinforces it from the Old Testament perspective. For the Lord takes delight in his people.
He crowns the humble with victory. Victory, that's strong language.
It really is. So putting it all together, humility isn't passive. It's an active path, an intentional choice.
Towards victory, towards being crowned.
That's what the texts suggest. Like the reflection notes say, true greatness is found in humility, not in seeking the highest place. It's a deliberate step away from the status game.
Okay, so if that's the internal posture, humility, where does that leave our actions? How does it change how we treat others?
Well, that leads us straight into the call for generosity, doesn't it? Investing in a different kind of economy.
Yes. And Sirach comes back in here with another powerful line. Water quenches a flaming fire, and alms atone for sins.
That's a striking image. Alms, acts of charity, atoning for sins.
What does that really mean, though? How does giving to the poor actually atone for wrongdoing? Is it like a spiritual balancing act?
That phrase is fascinating. Alms atoning for sins. It seems to go beyond just, balancing the books. It connects generosity directly to spiritual healing, reconciliation.
So not just offsetting bad with good.
Maybe more like heartfelt giving, especially to those in need, somehow engages God's mercy. It fosters a kind of interchange, a purification perhaps.
Making generosity part of the spiritual journey itself, not just a nice thing to do.
Exactly, an active step in mending things, internally and maybe even cosmically.
Let's jump back to Jesus at that dinner again, because he wasn't finished after the parable about seats.
Right, he turns to the host.
Yes, and gives him this really radical advice. He says, basically, when you throw a party, don't invite your friends, your family, your rich neighbors.
The ones who can invite you back.
Precisely.
Yeah.
He calls out the quid pro quo, the unspoken social contract. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Which is, let's be honest, how a lot of networking and social life still work.
Absolutely. But then Jesus says, rather, when you hold a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind.
The people who absolutely cannot repay you in kind, at least not in that society.
Exactly. And the reason, blessed indeed will you be, because of their inability to repay you. It just turns hospitality upside down.
So what kind of repayment is he talking about? If it's not social, it can't be immediate.
No. This is where that different economy comes in. The economy of grace, you called it.
Yeah, because the promise isn't about getting invited back next week.
Or you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous.
Wow. That shifts everything, doesn't it? From earthly transactional giving to divine eternal accounting. Your generosity isn't lost. It's just banked somewhere else.
An investment in a kingdom beyond this one. Seeing generosity not as a cost, but as, well, an eternal investment.
Exactly. And this divine focus on the needy, it's reflected in the Psalms too, isn't it? Psalm 68.
Beautifully. It describes God's own character. God, in your goodness, you have made a home for the poor.
It paints God as the father of orphans, the defender of widows.
Yes, giving a home to the forsaken, leading prisoners to prosperity. It even talks about God sending bountiful rain for the needy land.
It is a consistent picture. God actively caring for the vulnerable.
So what's striking that is how our own actions, our humility, our generosity.
They start to look like reflections of God's own character. When we serve those who can't pay us back, we're actually mirroring the heart of God.
Aligning ourselves with that divine pattern of care.
Exactly. The reflection notes capture it well. When we serve without expecting honor, we reflect the heart of Christ. And God exalts the humble, draws near to those who put others first.
So it's not just theology, it becomes very practical. It leads right to that question for you, the listener.
How can I choose humility today? And maybe just as importantly, how can I show kindness to someone who cannot repay me? It brings it right down to earth.
Okay, we've talked internal posture, external action. Let's zoom out now, way out, to this grander, almost cosmic perspective in the letter to the Hebrews.
Right, moving from earthly dinners to a heavenly gathering, it's quite a shift.
It really is. Hebrews starts by saying what you have not approached, and the imagery is intense.
Very. That which could be touched, a blazing fire, gloomy darkness, storm, trumpet blast.
A voice so terrifying that people begged it to stop. It definitely evokes Mount Sinai, that sense of fear, distance.
The old covenant imagery, powerful but intimidating, unapproachable almost.
So what's the significance of starting there, of saying this isn't what you've come to?
Well, it sets up a huge contrast, doesn't it? It highlights that the whole relationship has changed, access has changed.
Yeah.
That era of fear and distance is over.
Okay, because then it tells us what, no, you have approached. And this is where it gets, well, mind-blowing.
It's an incredible list. Mount Zion, the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem.
Countless angels in festal gathering, the assembly of the firstborn enrolled in heaven.
God, the judge of all, the spirits of the just made perfect.
And Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant. And finally, the sprinkled blood that speaks more eloquently than that of Abel. That's a lot.
It's an astonishing vision, the scope, the joy of it. It's not Sinai's fear, it's Zion's celebration, a city full of light and life.
So the big question then, how does this epic heavenly vision connect back to, choosing the lowest seat or giving alms?
That's the crucial link, I think. It suggests our small earthly choices rooted in humility and selfless generosity. They aren't small at all.
They're part of this bigger divine story.
Exactly. They're our participation in this heavenly reality. When it mentions the spirits of the just made perfect, maybe that includes those living out this humility and generosity right now.
Like we're already part of that assembly in some way.
Perhaps. And that sprinkled blood, Jesus' blood, speaks of forgiveness, access, a new relationship offered through the new covenant. It's an invitation to belong to this incredible gathering.
So our daily acts of, say, kindness to someone who can't repay us, they're like our entry ticket, our way of participating in that heavenly festival.
In a profound sense, yes. It connects the mundane to the magnificent. Our quiet choices echo in that heavenly city.
Wow. What a journey we've taken then, from humility opening doors to favor.
To radical generosity finding its reward not here, but in eternity.
And seeing how these aren't just little virtues, but part of this immense divine invitation to the heavenly Jerusalem itself.
It really reframes everything. These aren't just dusty old texts. They're living principles for today, offering a completely different way to see our lives and our world.
They really challenge us, don't they, to rethink what we consider strong or wealthy or where true belonging is found.
Absolutely. The path to being exalted, to finding favor with God, might genuinely be through consciously choosing humility, choosing to serve without expecting anything back in worldly terms.
It leaves you with a pretty provocative thought, doesn't it?
It really does. It makes you wonder, how might your everyday choices, the small acts driven by humility, the quiet moments of generosity, how might they be your active way of joining that magnificent, ongoing festival gathering right now, even if you can't physically see the angels or the heavenly city?